Welcome back, baseball fans, to the 69, 70, 71, 72 Carryover League. Again, we are in the 1971 box. This time we're going to go into the American League North. And we have, of course, Burlington, Cleveland, Detroit, and Ohio. Again, most of these rosters are complete. They're only missing 2 players per team. So the talent level is much better here than in the 69 and 70 boxes. We're going to start with the Expos. First, I'll announce the guys who left, which is Gary Carter, Willie Lozado, Gary Redus, and then in pitching they lost Charlie Lee and Bill Gullickson, and then 3/4 of their bullpen: Mike Armstrong, Rick Waits, and Tom Niedenfuhr. And I can actually kind of go through and see if any of these 69 or 70 cards are here. And they would be Ron Fairley, Mac Jones. I don't see Mac Jones anywhere. Coco LeBoy, Rusty Staub, Woody Woodward. Rusty Staub, Woody Woodward. Dan McGinn. And then 70, Bob Bailey, Adolfo Phillips, don't see him here, Bobby Wine, and John Morris. Okay, so once I move those guys, we get to see a pretty fertile farm system. Steve Ranko, we've seen this card a couple times, and he is better here. He is better, and he rotates with a 3.75 ERA. He is definitely a guy that you could replace Charlie Lee or John Morris, so that's a good start. Stan Swanson is an outfielder who is okay, nothing special here, 245. Ernie McAnally, another starting pitcher who's pretty good. He pitched 178 innings with a 3.89 ERA. Right-handed pitching is not an issue for the Expos. They're fine. Utility infielder Gary Sutherland is okay against righties. At least he's okay, not so much against lefties. He's a 2 at second base, so he is an option. 257. John Bateman, we've seen him better. That's not that good. Clyde Mayshore, not much there. I can move forward quicker than in the previous boxes because there's so many cards and they have so many options. Mike Marshall, a reliever, he's good enough. 430. Claude Raymond, not good enough. Carl Morton, we've seen him better. 479, but he's been better. Jim Britton, that's too many walks and home runs. And that is a look at your Expos. All right, the next team we will go to is Clevetown, the Clevetown Indians. And they lose from 84. Julio Franco, Terry Francona, Tom Herr, Sixto Lezcano, Jim Wolford, Alejandro Pena, Ed Whitson, and Rod Scurry is the last name. Let's see if we can count the 69 guys off. Jose Cardinal is on the team. Tony Horton, I can find him, is on the team. Can't find him. Duke Sims is on the team. Sam McDowell and Louis Tiant. There's Sam McDowell. We think we're going to trade him. Where's Louis Tiant? Can't find him. And then Hargan and Pinson. Oh, I'm sorry. Larry Brown, right, from 70. Ray Fosse from 70. Hargan from 70. And Eddie Watt. And there's Pinson. Okay. So all those guys are on the team. I flipped them over. And these are available. All right, Chris Chambliss. Bingo. That would be a great replacement for Terry Francona. Also get the Yankees back because Nettles was moved to the Yankees a little sooner than we originally thought he should have been. So Chambliss, he should stay in Cleveland for a little bit. Plus we know the Yankees have a couple first basemen on their radar, Bloomberg and Cater. So Chambliss looks like a winner. Lowenstein, no. Not good enough. Ray Lamb is an okay starter. 336 ERA. Steve Dunning is not that good enough. 450. We want to be, as we're getting closer to the end of these boxes, 71 and 72, we really want to see some good players that, not Jags, not just a guy. Roy Foster, he has a future. He has another card that's good. And this one, 18 homers and 396 at bats. It's plenty of pop. So we love the power there. We've seen a couple lousy Alan Foster cards. This one's not bad. This is a good Alan Foster card. 415, good enough. Better than the previous ones. Eddie Leone, his bat's a little better. Utility player. 261 average. Jack Heidemann, we saw him as a 2 at short. Now he's a 3 at short and still is not hitting very well. Ted Ford, an outfielder without much pop. Frank Baker, not to be confused with the Oriole Frank Baker. Not enough pop. 210. Phil Hennigan is okay at best, just a guy in the bullpen. Ed Farmer, as good as he is getting righties out, he's horrible against lefties, so that's a no. And Mike Paul, that's too bad against righties. We'd like him in 69. So, a lot of depth here, but Chambliss looks like the only guy who's a lock in either Lamb or Foster or the other Foster. All right. Next up, the Tigers. 71 Tigers, 3 years removed from that World Championship in 68. And, of course, losing those 84 World Championship Tiger guys. They lose Tom Brookins, Wayne Krenchicki, Rusty Kuntz, Andre Thornton, Alan Trammell, Lou Whitaker, Milt Wilcox, Willie Hernandez, and they should have Norm Cash. They should have Willie Horton. They should have Northrup and Roseboro. Let's see Roseboro here. They should have McLean and Lolich. There's McLean and Lolich. And they should have from 70 Freehan, Kaline, Hiller, and Reed. Hiller, okay. So, these are the young Tigers. Fred Sherman, we saw his card before, and it's good, it's still good. So they have options. Fred Sherman will probably be playing for Detroit. It's a question of which year you want him to do it. This year or the previous year. Gates Brown, this is the card. When do you see a card that starts at 1-2 do this? 338. Very similar to the, I guess you have to go to 1980 Mike Easler, who had the 1-4-11-12 card to hit 338, to find hits in strange places like that. That's a cool card, and you got to make sure you get him in the league this year. Sherman and Brown seem like a lock. Now it's a question of, Mickey Stanley's finally getting a stick together. So once you start seeing a lot of talent like this on a team, maybe you say, well, let's go with the other Sherman then, so I can get Sherman from a different year, Gates Brown and Mickey Stanley. This Dick McAuliffe can field, but he's not quite as good as the other Dick McAuliffes we've seen. Dalton Jones is good, but not great. He's okay, 254. Dean Chance is okay, not great, 350. Timmerman is really good in 72. That's good. Les Kane, 434. Bill Dennehy, 422. This seems pretty straightforward. There are 3 really good players here. These 3 guys, Sherman, Brown, and Stanley. Stanley is a direct replacement in the outfield for Rusty Kuntz, who's a right-handed defensive outfielder. Gates Brown could be a replacement for the DH, which was Andre Thornton, though he's left-handed. And Fred Sherman replaces, dare I say, Willie Hernandez. He's no Willie Hernandez, obviously, but somebody has to replace that role, while Detroit moves John Hiller into the closing role. And finally, the Ohio team. The Ohio players, they lose some really excellent guys from the 80s. Jesse Barfield, Chili Davis, Mike Easler, second mention of him in this video. Alfredo Griffin, Jerry Mumphrey, Tony Pena, Joaquin Andahar, and Ray Burris. And from the 69 set, they should have Jackie Hernandez here, and they do. They should have Lou Klimchak here, if his card was made, if he was still playing. If it's not, if he doesn't play, you're not going to see the card here. Zoilo, oh, he's probably gone. Oh, there he is. Al Downing, Doc Ellis, and Rudy May. Al Downing, Doc Ellis, Rudy May, and the 70 guys, Dave Cash, Chuck Hinton, Tom Hall, and Mudcat Grant. I don't know where Mudcat Grant is, so there you go. So, when you flip this all around, these are available. Here's a lefty reliever, Joe Gibbon. They have a lot of lefties, though. They have Al Downing, Rudy May, and Tom Hall. So Gibbon isn't really needed on this team unless they can move him in a deal. Jay Alu, that's a quality player right there. It's about, what, 288, 279. Doesn't give you a lot of, doesn't give you power or stealing. Halfway decent defense. He's okay, and he could replace one of the 3 outfielders you lose. Gene Klein's better than the last outfielder, better than Alu because he offers you some speed. His glove's not very good. He was really good against lefties. Gives you power against righties. That's a potential everyday guy. 308, absolutely. And 273 at bats. You could push him into a full-time role if you need to, though he's not that great against righties. He'll probably get into the league one of these years. LaRon Lee, I believe he was a Padre, right? Yes. He has a better year in 72, I think, and the Padres will take him in 72. Here's Geronimo again. We saw him last year. He's got a 2-3 arm. I don't know if they're just going to let the Reds draft him when this time is right. His stick's not quite there yet, 220. We've seen J.C. Martin a few times. This is the best one we've seen, though. That's about a 268 hitter there, 264. And Oscar Gamble. Wow, we've seen 3 of these now. None of them are any good. 221. Interesting. So, maybe you can dangle Joe Gibbon in a trade. Because this guy should get in the league somewhere. He shouldn't, you know, this league needs left-handed pitching. And that's it for the Ohio players and the America League North. It's hard to project this division, really. It seems like it should be the Tigers division, based on the fact that the other franchises, you know, Cleveland never really turns it on at all. Ohio players had a bunch of great 84 guys. The Expos could be the surprise team if they can get their late 70s excellence sooner than later. That will be hard to do because I don't think it'll be a while before we see Larry Parrish, Gary Carter, Andre Dawson, Warren Cromartie, Ellis Valentine, all those great Expo players. It's going to take a little bit of time before they arrive. That's it from the American League North. Hope you're enjoying the draft prep videos. We're halfway through the American League, and we'll see you again next time.